Hello everyone, this is Gamer of Knowledge and More, Gamer of Knowledge, GoCam, or just Fred if you want to go by my real name, back with another video. Today it's a deck around a commander called Liesa, Shroud of Dusk. She is a angel who costs 2 of any, 2 white and 1 black. She has a power and toughness of 5. And with the effect of, rather than paying 2 for each previous time you've cast this spell from the command zone in this game, pay 2 life that many times. So she gets around command attacks by paying life instead. She also has flying and lifelink, and whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. So it doesn't matter who the player is, it could even be you. That player loses 2 life. So the idea around the deck is that my opponents lose life, but I don't. Despite that, I still wouldn't hate bearers and stacks pieces. So I'm going to start off with the cards that can help me get mana. So first is Soul Ring, pretty standard, costs 1 mana and taps for 2 mana. Feral Stone is the opposite. It costs 2, but it taps to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Next is Pristine Talisman. For 3 mana, it taps for a colorless, but you gain a life. And Talisman of Hierarchy. It costs 2, and it can either tap for a colorless, or by dealing 1 damage to you, it adds either a white or a black. Next, I'm going to go over the ways that I draw or search. So first off is Cosmos Elixir. For 4 mana, it says at the beginning of your end step, draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. Otherwise, you gain 2 life. I put it in the draw category because we want to make sure our life total is. We want to make sure we are gaining more life than Liesa could drain. So, since our life total would most likely be higher than 40, we will be drawing a card. Next is Greed. It costs 3 of any and a black, and it has the effect of paying a black mana and 2 life to draw a card. Next is Silent Blood. It's kind of similar, except it's for 2 black mana instead, and it's losing life instead of paying. Next is Vampiric Tutor. For 1 black mana, you search your library for a card, then shuffle your library and put that card on top. You lose 2 life. So it can get us any card we want. Unfortunately, we don't have to show it to our opponent. Next up, I'm going to show the win conditions. The first one is Depth to the Deathless. So it says for X, 2 white and 2 black. It says each opponent loses 2 times X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So, depending on how much we put into the X, is depending on how much each opponent loses. So if you put 10, each opponent will lose 20, and you gain 60 because of you gain life equal to life lost. Next is Profane Command. It's a smaller version in a way because it's the same cost without the white. And it says choose 2. Target player loses X life. Return target creature card with confirm mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, or up to X target creatures gain fear until end of turn, which means they can't be blocked except by artifacts and/or black creatures. Next is actually 2 cards, and probably my favorite way. But Depth to the Death is the gamer approval card. It's Blood Tribute and Defiant Bloodlord. Blood Tribute says for 4 of any and 2 black, it has a kicker. So that means that you tap an untapped vampire you control for the kicker, and you can tap a vampire in addition to any other costs as I cast Blood Tribute. it says target opponent loses half his or her life rounded up. If blood tribute was kicked, you gain life equal to life lost this way. Next up is Divine Bloodlord. For 5 of any and 2 black, it's a vampire that says whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So what happens is you tap Divine Bloodlord as a kicker cost of blood tribute. So somebody loses half their life rounded up, and you gain that much life. Then, since you're gaining life, Divine Bloodlord makes someone lose that much life. Next up is cards that has extort. They're Syndicate Enforcer, Basilica Guards, Tide Drinker, and Kingpin's Pet. All but Syndicate Enforcer has another effect, but that doesn't really matter as they all have extort. One cost 3 of any and a black, one cost 2 of any and a white, one cost a white and a black, and one cost 1 of any, a white and a black. Next up are some removal spells, with 2 being targeted and 2 being board wipes. First is Generous Gift. It's white. It's basically mono white Beast Within. If you've heard of that card, essentially for 2 of any and a white, you destroy a permanent, and its controller gets a green elephant. Next is Deadly Warrior, which is probably the best targeted removal in the deck, because it says if you control a commander, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost. And since it says a commander, it doesn't matter if you got your commander, a partner commander, or even your opponent's commander. You can still cast it without paying its mana cost. And it says exile target creature. So it gets around indestructible. Next is Austere Command and Cleansing Nova. Both of them kind of do the same thing, except Cleansing Nova is more of a smaller version. So Cleansing Nova can either destroy all creatures or destroy all artifacts and enchantments. As Austere Command can either destroy all artifacts, destroy all enchantments, destroy all creatures with confirmed mana cost 3 or less, or creatures with confirmed mana cost 4 or greater. Next is some ways of gaining life from creatures entering the battlefield. First is Authority of the Consuls. So, creatures your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life. So if it goes well with the Elephant's Gift, because I get to destroy something my opponent controls and gain a life from it. Next is 3 cards that essentially do the same thing. Is Daxus, Blessed by the Sun, and the 2 Soul Sisters. So, whenever another creature... Daxus says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. It also does it when a creature dies. And the Soul Sisters does it whenever any creature enters the battlefield. So, the 4 cards that I showed you with Authority, Daxus, and the Soul Sisters, depending on who's bringing out the creature, you can gain life from. You can gain 3 life from it. Next is some stacks pieces. I think it's stacks, isn't it? The one where it's like it makes it more expensive to do something. First is Godfather Statue. It makes spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more to cast, and it makes each opponent lose a life at your end step. Next is Leonin Arbiter, which makes players construct libraries. Any player may pay 2 for that player to ignore this effect until end of turn. Next is Ghostly Prison. So creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking you. So it has this saying of 1 pay 2 for that. Next is Raiden, God of the Worthy. there's the front side and the back side. So the front side for this part is non-creature spells your opponent casts with confirmed mana cost 4 or greater cost 2 more to cast. And on the back it says if a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent 1 of that damage. And whenever you or another permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless its controller pays 1. So it slows down stuff like Neku saw with the dealing damage effect, and it makes sure that people who want to target stuff you control harder to do so. Lastly is some protection. So first is Gideon's Intervention. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a card name. Your opponents cannot cast spells with the chosen name, and prevent all damage that will be dealt to you and permanently controlled by sources of the chosen name. Next is the 2 equipments that with Landing Greaves and Swivel Boots. Swivel Boots give hexproof and haste, and Landing Greaves does haste and shroud. Lastly is Akroma's Will. It says choose 1. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both. So you can either give creatures you control flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn, and or creatures you control gain lifelink, indestructible, and protector from all colors until end of turn. So that is it for the deck, guys. I've been using it a couple of times over the years. Well, not over the years, but I've been using it a couple of times, and it's really fun to see my opponents laugh to say about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you want to show your support, subscribe, ring the bell, and check out my pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Bye.